welcome back to Casablanca Cargo, and this is Kathy, your host for today. Okay, who else would it be? It is me, Kathy. It is I, Kathy. So, guess what? I found a whole ream of brown packing paper that I didn't know I had. I don't even know what it was protecting when it was shipped over to my house, but there it is, and I'm gonna make another paper snippet roll. And now I'm just, as you can see, trying to smooth it out and figure out what I'm gonna do as I'm, looking like I know what I'm doing. So while I'm gluing this, why don't you go ahead and subscribe to my channel? You can scan that QR code. I would appreciate it. The QR code is if you're on TV and you're watching on an app and you also have your phone open. I am guilty of that. I do that all the time. So here you go. So I've got approximately 6 inches when folded, and now I have decided, about 1.5 inches every so often. And I'm cutting it down on the outside because when I try to go on the inside, I always get a very crooked line, whereas when I go on the outside, it is somewhat straight. There I have my one piece, and that's all I'm going to work on today. Now I have this stamp, and I had some new stamps. Inks, distress inks. They're not archival. They did not work, so I'm not even going to show you that failed part, but that little piece on the end there on the left is very faint little frames, and I'm just going to ignore that from this point on. There I am, just stenciling it because I still don't know exactly what I'm going to do, but I'll carry on. These are little cardboard cards that you can get on Amazon. There I am trying again with the distress ink it didn't work, to distress the edges. It doesn't work. They're kind of a shiny substance, so I just, give up at that point. Here's some hexagons that I've had in my stash for a very long time. Most of them are made from the covers of paper pads. When I tore my paper pads apart, I took the covers, and if they had the little 2x2 squares of what the paper looked like on the inside, sometimes way back in the dark ages, they used to do that. I took the covers and I took a little punch that I had to make hexagons, and I made too many hexagons. Which I tend to do. I just tend to punch out until, I have too many. But there we go. Decorative purposes. Here's some little florals that I have from a textbook on different flowers in California. There is my Deco Edge trimmer scissors. And I'm just going to build up some layers. And this time, though, instead of having a few empty areas, I end up really piling it on this strip. I have a tendency, when I had the bare spots or just a little place where you could put your scissors and cut off a snippet, it was like, I got to choose which side of the snippet I'm going to use, in the project. And I don't know. I just thought if I pile it all on, then I can cut wherever I need to cut and not worry so much about cutting through, an image or something. There's a little car with a little family in front of it. This is Tim Holtz now. Little tiny Tim Holtz. It's Tiny Tim. And I have been really enjoying making the snippet roll and using up these little tiny things that, when you first see me, like, oh, this is great. And then I was like, oh, what am I supposed to do with these little tiny things? well, I've come up with an idea. I'll just put them in my snippet roll. And, I also just decided on this one, I'm not distressing any of the edges. If I get to a point where I think it needs some distress ink, once I have cut it off, then I will distress it, or I won't distress it. But I'm just allowing myself some artistic freedom, not conforming to really anything that I have thought, need to do in junk journaling. I just want to go, oh, this is so cute. This is a little clothesline. I don't know where I got it. I'm not sure if it was part of my Cricut cartridges. I still have my Expression Cricut. I never upgraded from that. I have a whole bunch of cartridges, but I have not cut anything out for years, and I have so much stuff, and I'm not sure where that came from. Some of this stuff in this box came from when I used to do, what was that called? Where you have the letters and you have the 9 windows. What is that called? Daggone, I used to exchange it with people. Anyway, some of this stuff was sent to me, and I just kept it, and now I'm going to try to use it up. And I've got sort of vintagey looking stuff in this. I've got some bright colors. I just, in my little Eiffel Towers, that's another punch that I just punched the heck out of. Anything I could get my hand on. Oh, Eiffel Tower punch. Oh, Eiffel Tower punch. And it just, I have tremendous amount of those. So I'll just use it up. Look at that. Oh, it's so cute. I want to say it was a Cricut thing I had, but again, I don't know. I'm not sure, but I am bound and determined to use it on the snippet roll. So there it goes on top of that. I saw a picture once from the Depression era where there was somebody that had a clothesline across the truck or something. The people that were moving west, and they had to stop, and they were cleaning clothes, and it was, I don't know, I can't remember exactly, but that's basically what I was recreating there. And this one is the white edge on that butterfly, and instead of trying to fussy cut around that, I have trouble. I haven't shared this with you all, but the last time I got my eyes checked, I was told I had cataracts and I have 3 floaters in one eye. So if you see me pulling something off the screen, I'm doing that so I can see closely. I can't see up close or mid-range, plus the glare from the hot light. Sometimes I can't see what I'm doing. So, please bear with me. I'm not doing it to upset anybody. I just need to see sometimes what I'm doing. But as far as the fussy cutting, I'm not even going to fussy cut the white off any of this stuff. I used a little bit of whatever was on that brush to kind of, dull the color, but I'm just going to leave it. These little teacups, I have a metal die that cuts them out, and I cut them out. This paper is wrapping paper, and it's really pretty, and I loved it because when I put it into projects, it was thin and it doesn't, bulk up your book, your junk journal, whatever, but it's also kind of tricky to glue. So this time I backed it onto some of that packing paper and just stuck it in there. Everything is being glued on with just the craft school glue. I'm not using Fabri-Tac or tacky glue even. I had an idea that once I was done gluing everything and gave it a good 24 hours at least to dry, I would take it to the sewing machine. Now these are another punch gone wild. It punches out 5 or 6 shapes of leaves, that tiny. And I would show you the punch, but I don't know where I put it. I think I might have really hidden it really good so I wouldn't touch it again for a long time. This is index cards that my husband used, to make notes for an exam he had to take for one of the jobs he used to have. And when the testing was over, I took those index cards and punched out leaves, and you can't see what he wrote, but you can see that something was written on one side of the cards. So we get here to this point. I'm putting on the leaves. I'm like, well, let's see if this is going to, mess up everything I've just done. Let's see if I can make it worse, or let's see if I can, just wreck it. I don't know. Sometimes I feel like I go too far, but I just wanted to put some of these leaves on here for, kind of like, let's bring in autumn, let's bring in fall, let's see some leaves, and let's get going. So everything is just put on with the craft glue and that little pokey device, because my the special glue with the special tip, art glitter glue, is done.